Assalamualaikum and a good day to everyone. Today, on behalf of my team, Rafisha Ahmad Rabi and me myself, Muhammad Yusuf bin Zulkifli, I would like to present about our innovation idea entitled Integrating the Social Story with Virtual Learning Environment to Lessen the Sexual Behavior Problem among ASD Teenagers. Ladies and gentlemen, the main objective of this innovation idea is to explore the effectiveness of using virtual learning environment to assist in modifying sexual behavior problem among ASD teenagers. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are the main issues or problem until we would like to pursue this innovation idea? Firstly, for your information, the sexual behavior problem among ASD teenagers are becoming primarily concern among the parents because why? Just because they do not know and they do not know the appropriate way for them to release the desire and the probability for them to release their sexual urge in the public area is very high, and the tendency for the public to harm them also very high because ASD, those diagnosed with ASD, they look like normal, but the behavior might be a little bit different. But for those people who lack awareness about the ASD, so they may view them as a harmful thing when they exhibit this type of behavior. So they might be punished or they might be harmed by the public. So this is become the primary concern of the parents. And beside of the others' understanding of their children's behavior, ASD teenagers also they are very struggling in the social understanding because they do not know when and where they have to exhibit or practicing that type of inappropriate sexual behavior, even though it is something is not supposedly to be exhibited or supposedly to be done by them, but they are confused and they're struggling to understand the social demand. And the lastly is the inappropriate sexual behavior happen because most of them on the spectrum are lack of social awareness to know when and where it is appropriate. And some more, they are in the state of confusion when they are in transition to puberty. Of course, they are very confused about their body transition. For example, the pubic hair and then the growth of the armpit hairs and so forth. Like for normal children or normal teenagers, they know how to ask, they know how to communicate, to ask the adults about the changes. But for these age teenagers, they do not know how to express themselves, and this becomes the problem when they look at these changes, something deviant, and then when they start to stimulate the sexual urge and happen, it become addiction, and it will be harm to them as well, and not only to them, and also be harming the condition of themselves as well. If only if there's other people will harming them or will punish them just because of their inappropriate sexual behavior. So, ladies and gentlemen, before this, most of the special education educators, even parents or teachers or caregivers, they will use social story to teach these ASD teenagers about sexual behavior. And we can't deny that this social story is one of the successful method to teach or to inform these ASD teenagers about the social demand. However, there are some limitations by using social stories. First of all, it's about time consuming. What I meant by time consuming is teachers or even parents or caregivers, they have to find a time, they have to sit together with the ASD teenagers, and they have to read one by pointing at the pictures. And it also quite challenging to make sure that these ASD teenagers to focus with the social story that being taught to them. Yeah. And second thing is because since the picture is a static picture, like for example, like this social story, as you can see that the picture is very static, and it will create the confusion among ASD teenagers. We have to understand that ASD teenagers is a spectrum disorder. It's not like us, normal people. If we look into this picture, of course, we can understand the concept or the message is trying to be conveyed. But since they are quite unique, so this picture sometimes will create confusion on them. So that's why we would like to propose to translate this social story into virtual learning because it will be more engaging. Yeah. I believe many people will ask, so what is the novelty of this innovation idea? First of all, as we believe that this since social story is a good thing, so we believe that to make it better to be translated into animation via virtual learning. Why? Because it will be more effective and will avoid the confusion. And most of these ASD teenagers, we believe that it will make them to comprehend about the concept of the puberty, things that they can do, things that they shouldn't do, for example, like kissing and also hugging, about proximity distance, and about also about paid worker. And then this also will be the fundamental element of virtual learning, can be used anytime through any type of gadget, because most of the ASD teenagers, they own a gadget. So we believe that by translating the social story into virtual learning, which is via animation, so they can view it anywhere and anytime, and no need, no teachers, no parents, no caregivers needed at that time. Of course, sometimes they need to be there to explain further. However, that that animation is already explained well in that animation form, yeah. And in the simplest explanation, the researchers built exclusive animation derived from the social story. The person will be observing from a third perspective. Their eyes is the camera. Each eye is a separate camera that gives them a stereographic view. From there, we believe that these ASD teenagers could learn a difficult situation in a simple animation. Yeah. So the usefulness of this innovation idea, if we transform it into a product, the teachers, caregivers, or even therapists, they do not need to sit and read the social story anymore with the individual. And the integration of this social story and virtual learning can be played through the phone, yet we bring them, which is the ASD individual in this context, to an immersed, fabulous virtual animation while watching videos anytime and everywhere. As for example,
I am growing up. I used to be a small boy. Now I am a young man.
in this video, we are
My
utilizing the
body is
social
changing.
constructivism theory by Vygotsky. So we enhance everything:
This is a
the
good thing.
voice, the music, and then the movement pictures,
I
the
am
movement
getting
videos
taller.
to make them understand the situation.
Soon, I will have more hair on my legs.
So ladies and gentlemen, as for conclusion, we believe that the usage of virtual learning as a tool of the intervention is believed may help the ASD individual understand the situation better and help to modify the sexual behavior problem. And before the usage of virtual learning, ASD individual often find it difficult to read facial expression, pick up visual cues, or pay attention to another person whilst they are speaking. Thus, the intervention by integrating or translating the social story into virtual learning is believed will assist a positive way to ASD individuals to make sense of a situation around them. So, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that this innovation idea should be done because tackling sexual behavior problem among ASD is not a thing that we should ignore. This thing that we need, this is the thing that we need to tackle to help. And I believe that is not only to help those who are in the middle class, but it also will help those in the bottom million as well. Thank you.